Welcome to the Divorce Angel podcast. I'm your host, Tanya Summerton. Attention business owners, senior managers and executives. Your successful separation begins right now. We have the answers to the questions you did not even think to ask. Let's face it, you're already successful in your career and we're here to help expand your knowledge and limit your costs by designing a strategy for your divorce. We take all that business knowledge you've acquired and we put it to work. With proven strategies, systems and processes, we've saved our clients tens of thousands in legal fees and helped define their future. And now we're doing the unthinkable. We're revealing the secrets the lawyers have tried to hide and giving you our formula for 5 steps to a seamless divorce. We're changing the world one divorce at a time, so stay tuned. Hey everyone, welcome back to this week's podcast. And this week I want to talk about decluttering your life with a happy divorce. Because let's be honest, there's so many things in your life right now, if you've separated or considering separating, that just doesn't work for you. There's probably a whole lot of complex issues going on. You feel like you're trapped. You probably also are wondering, how did I find myself here? And what I want for you is I want you to really discover that you can declutter your life. And you know what? There's not a lot of things we really need in our life to truly be happy. But when we're unhappy, we seem to collect things. I don't know about you, but yeah, I certainly collected things. And possessions, I talked about this a little bit last week. Possessions really mean nothing. Happiness comes from the inside. But when you discover that by decluttering your life, certainly it can be bad emotions, it can be an environment, it can be that there's so much around you that you just feel these feelings of everything moving in on top of you. And when you finally get through the worst of separation and you get to that stage where you are thinking about your new life, it can be exciting. You know, the thought of moving into a new house or the thought of your ex moving out and you making your home something just for you can also happen. I'm a little bit wary of that. You've probably heard me talk about that before. I always would prefer people to start afresh, but in some cases, especially with what we need to pay today to get into a property, sometimes it makes more sense if you can afford it and you can keep the upkeep to stay in the house. But if we get back to decluttering our life, you know, I had a client the other day, so gorgeous, and she said she's packed the house up to move and she can't believe the amount of stuff that she had collected over the years. Like, we all collect stuff, don't we? You know, we've got the things that the kids did in prep or kinder that maybe one day we might put up or we might keep. I remember one Christmas putting all of that stuff together and giving it to my kids as a Christmas present. And they all looked at me and said, "Mum, you kept this stuff. It means nothing to us, but it meant something to you." So I don't think the present actually went down as well as I thought it was going to go down. But anyway, made us all laugh going through the things that they'd done when they were younger. But that's the thing. So we keep possessions or we keep things that we have an emotional attachment to. But when we're going through a relationship breakup, there's so much now that doesn't have a value on it, if that makes sense. Because before we were putting a value on, let's say, for instance, the kids' drawings because we were a family, but as the kids are getting older, they don't see the value in that. And it was something that you saw the value in, but they don't want it, so why keep it? But old furniture, clothes, because when you're going through this, it's also a chance to reinvent yourself. One of my favourite male clients, I remember after he'd gone through the hardest part of the separation. His sister took him out and they bought all new clothes. He went and got a haircut. He reinvented his own appearance as well. And he just got rid of all of the old stuff that represented his, let's say, daggy self. Because when you reinvent yourself and you declutter your life, so much is possible. Because if you think about it, right now, you're living with all of these restraints around you. Who you're expected to be, how you're expected to act, what car you drive, what clothes you wear, the furniture that's in your house. And you put a lot of these criteria around how you live, and you do that yourself. Like, it becomes such a habit that every day you're living in the environment that you think that's what's expected. But when you cull and you clean out all of these things that really have no value, because let's be honest, we come into this life alone and we leave it alone. So nothing really has value except the value that we give it, right? So if you're not giving it a value and it means you can declutter it, it's at that time that freedom, absolute freedom, occurs. Can you imagine not being tied down to things or to patterns or to habits that have always kept you trapped? I mean, you've got this exciting ability to be whoever you want to be. And you don't have to be what the previous chapters of your life said were important. If you want to change everything, you can. You don't have to live up to anyone else's expectations for one more minute than you've needed to. And I was talking to my children the other day about something, and we got onto the subject of how I've changed a lot, but their dad has still remained the same, and they've witnessed it. So if you can imagine, I mean, I've really taken the time to do personal growth and evolution and to become better every day. Now, I'm not saying their dad isn't becoming better every day, but when I look at him, not too much in his life has really changed. And, let's be honest, for some people, they might be happy to be who they are. They might think that there's nowhere to go. They might think that they've capped. And that, let's be honest, because probably that's why our relationship didn't work, because I was always looking for more and he was always happy with what he had. And some people might say that that's selfish of me because I wanted more. But we only get one life, and I choose to make sure that every day I do a little bit more, I try a little bit harder, I push a little bit further. And if you don't live with fear, anything is possible. So decluttering all of the shit, excuse the S word, but all of the crap that is laying around your house, getting rid of all the things that are meaningless and only having the things in your environment that are so valuable, they make you feel special, they make you feel like you're infallible, they give you a feeling of warmth and joy, and they make you feel incredible. That's what decluttering can do, because so many people who I talk to, my clients, the thought of just packing up their house is something that they don't even want to face. But like we talked about last week, are you someone that runs away from problems or towards problems? And in a lot of cases, these people who, seriously, I'm being really open here with you, are struggling. They're at the worst of a life situation. So they've got every right to just want to put their head underneath their blanket and not get up. But if you get or tackle this straight on and you just go, I have to get this done, there's such a prize at the end of it. Like there really is. You really become independent. And we've spoken about this before. Independence is the greatest gift you can give yourself, because if you need to live in a house that is full of stuff to bring you happiness, my friends, there's something wrong with that. If you are the sort of person that must have so much stuff around you, there's something wrong with that. Because pure joy does not come from things. Pure joy comes from inside. And it's something that we have to work on every day. Every day I get up and I do my gratitude journal every day. I set my clock for 6 a.m. I meditate for 20 minutes, and then for the next 20 minutes, I do my gratitude journal, because that's how I choose to start my day. Because if I start my day that way, it just flows. Everything, the simplest thing makes me happy. Here in Victoria, we are in lockdown at the moment. We can't go any further than 5 k's from our house, and at night, we're pretty much there's a curfew from 9 a.m. to 5 a.m. So we can't go out anywhere. We can't have anyone around. But when I'm out walking with my mask on, I make a point of waving at everyone. I say hello so high-pitched and happily that people turn around and have to look at me. And I've had people say, it's so lovely to hear someone going out of their way, because I do. I go out of my way. If I go out of my way to make their day better, that's a gift I can give to them because I feel so wonderful. And that's what can happen to you too. And decluttering your life and getting rid of all of the things that add no value is one of the ways. And 100% hand on heart, everyone that's done this says the same thing. The quicker you can get rid of all of those things that are meaningless and don't actually add any value to your house, the quicker you will be free. The quicker you will be free to move on. So, why don't you look around your house right now, see what's there, and maybe even just start in one room. If it's too big a job, maybe just pick one room a week and start with that room. And little steps will get you a long way. But rather than running away from your problem, let's tackle it head on and just start a little bit at a time. Okay, my darlings, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye for now. Thanks for listening to the Divorce Angel podcast. Go behind the scenes of my business to learn the secrets no one else will share. Deep dive into the Divorce Angel process and listen to our most popular episodes over at tanyasummerton.com. If you love this episode of the podcast, do me a favour and head over to iTunes and subscribe and leave a review so we can reach more people and change more lives. That's all for now, and I'll catch up with you next week.